Agamis are a very aggressive bird used by natives instead of fences to protect their chickens. An agami who has lost his mate will adopt a flock of chickens as his own and keep them from running off, making fences unnecessary.
Hey.
Pecking up my camera lens. I was pecking up my foot. Pretty tasty, huh?
Look at this. Oh, it's a deer. Deer and pigs?
Those aren't pigs. They're what do they call them? Tapabar. How about somebody going out buy one so we can see how big he is?
Go pet him, Dave. Go over and lay a great big kiss on him. He thinks you're going to feed him. Oh man, there's got all kinds of shit in his fur. You got to feel his fur. It's like straw.
Real bristly.
Yeah, it's just like a broom. It's like petting a big broom. Well, I don't know. Hey guys, come here and feel this, Dick. Feel this dick. That's not great, man. He's licking my leg. Like a duck.
This market is in Saint Laurent, which is the most northern town on the coast of French Guiana. It's just across the river from the Dutch colony called Suriname. A large variety of races and cultures have made their home here. Saint Laurent is also the site of the main part of the famous French penal colony, best known as Devil's Island. Former inmates are prohibited by law to ever return to France, and so they and their offspring also live here. Hundreds of escapees and their children are now living all over South America. Saramacas are easily identified by the use of bright colors. This is the home of the member of a Saramaca tribe, and this obviously is a Saramaca canoe. This gate in Saint Laurent is the entrance to the famed penal colony. From here, prisoners were assigned to various camps and prisons out on the islands or on the mainland. Thousands of convicts were marched through this gate as they arrived from France. A prisoner named Lagrange made this depiction of the same place around 1930. Out of every 10 convicts sent here, only one survived. The list of the causes of death is long, but includes brutality from guards, failed escape attempts, malnutrition, tropical diseases, and even vampire bat bites. The prison still stands, and the old quarters have made homes for several families. The bars that used to keep the bad guys in are now used to keep the bad guys out. One of the causes of death was located here. This is the site of the guillotine. Lagrange painted this scene of one of the many executions that took place here. And this is the Hollywood version. Some of the heads were preserved in jars and sent back to France as proof of execution, but many until recently were on display in the Cayenne Museum. This morning I got up early and caught this boat out here to Isle Royale, where many of the convicts were sent. Seems I was the only one on the boat that didn't understand French.
I don't know what any of these buildings are yet. Maybe I can find out. So far I haven't found a soul that speaks French, speaks English.
I would guess that the noise is coming from an electrical generator supplying the island with electricity. Evidently there are people living here. As I understand it, the island is open to tourists, and if you like, you can even spend a night in one of the cells, kind of like using it as a hotel room. Almost all of the buildings on this island were built by convicts and were completed by 1898. Although they are very old, unprotected, and overgrown by tropical vegetation, most are still standing, more or less.
Pull this road up and see where it goes. It's getting awful hot. We're only 5 degrees from the equator. Even though it's an overcast day, it's awful sticky.
Isle du Diable, which is French for Devil's Island. It's a hard island to get to because of the strong ocean currents and the lack of beaches where a boat could land. There used to be a cable stretched across between the two islands to transport supplies to the convicts and the guards. This island was used for political prisoners. The most famous of them was Alfred Dreyfus, who was falsely accused of treason and spent 4 years in total isolation here. Although it looks like a tropical paradise to us, this is and probably always will be known as the world's most horrible prison. Several books have been written that document the horrors that went on in this place.
think if they could come up with signs that tell you that it's dangerous, they could come up with signs that tell you what it is. Anyway, it's a big, heavy iron door. We'll see what's over on the other side. I don't know if we are in a building or if it's like a courtyard. It's like a courtyard, and these are the buildings off to the sides. I would certainly say that this was some sort of a prisoner's cell. We got iron rails running from one end to the other, all overgrown, of course.
This painting by Lagrange shows this cell as it was in the 1930s. They say that a corpse was dragged out of here almost every morning.
It's actually cool in here.
Turns out that this was the morgue for the corpses of the convicts.
Oh, it looks like we're coming to an old cemetery up here.
This, it turns out, is named the Cemetery of Infants. Many of the children of the guards who lived here died of a plague of yellow fever and another plague of what was called paludal fever. This painting by Lagrange shows how convict corpses were disposed of. During the ceremony, a bell was tolled. The sharks became so accustomed to the procedure, they would gather when the bell rang, and the corpses were consumed before they could go out of sight. On the southeast side of Isle Royale is this view of St. Joseph Island. St. Joseph was the island of solitary confinement.